Coming up on the round 24 edition of the Sunday Roast, where we celebrate the winners and roast the losers. We finally put a bow on what has been an awesome season. Some teams you will not hear again till next year. We send a few players off. We give you some good odds and also some awesome takes, Morgs. Those chilies are still hot.
Oh, they're still reverberating in my guts, Dust. My last roast till Jebby's back in 2 weeks. No show next week. Obviously, no game to roast other than the Gold Coast Essendon. You know where to find us, Dust. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. If you could hit the little dingle down below, it does help us a lot. Follow us, like us on Spotify. Thanks for being here. Second half coming up next.
Damn to McIntyre.
And now, 100K Sports and PointsBet presents the Sunday Roast. Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, the show where we celebrate the winners and roast the losers, the show that we give you all the best bets of the odds you weren't on but wish you were. I am Morgs, in the chair for Jev again. Dobe, welcome back. We are hurting. If you didn't see the story yesterday, we were at Marvel eating Carolina Reaper chilies. Our ass has fallen out of our bodies this morning. We are hot. Dust, welcome back. Sunday Roast, second half coming up next.
Yeah, that's what they call it, the Sunday Roast, Morgs. My stomach last night, I was going through some waves yesterday, but I woke up at probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had these stomach cramps for 2 hours that I couldn't shake. Like, I was in bed groaning. Like, it was, I felt like I was having contractions. And then, obviously, when it did zip out the other end, it was a thing of beauty. I think I've had 3 craps today, Morgs, and it has been on wet wipe patrol. I am hurting, my good man.
Wet wipe patrol. It was like we were sitting on a barbecue this morning.
It's just like, and you're usually one that doesn't mind a gentle hum.
Yeah, no,
I hated it this morning. I hated it.
Not a gentle hum. This was, I actually put a photo in the video that'll come out tomorrow of my face, 1:34 a.m., just absolutely cooking on the bowl. But shout out to Bubba Pizza, Prune Masters, Damo, who set all that up for us. It was a lot of fun. We got free pizza for life. So if you haven't seen that, it is worth a look. It's a funny reel. He's put it together. And we'll put ours together, as I said, Dust. But finally, some good footy. Just finished up Dogs Freo. A lot of results that come out of the weekend that mean a lot for next week, the week after, first week of finals. A lot of teams saying goodbye. And very interestingly, the Dogs, which we're going to get to in a minute, but they can't go home. So they lost today. But because of that Wednesday game, technically, they can't hit the piss until Thursday. So let's get into that game, Dust. We just watched it. It was actually a pretty good game, to be fair. Dogs dogged it, but we got the game we wanted. So Freo won 112-97 at Marvel. It was a bit of a back and forth. After quarter time, Freo had all the momentum. There was some swings, but the Dogs didn't really threaten to take that lead back. Dust, what did you see in this game at the lid?
Yeah, well, you did say it. The Dogs were favourite by 20 points. They didn't cover. They looked like they were going to absolutely smash it, but they got murdered. So they average 116 points a game at home or at Marvel. Well, that would have won them the game. Dockers had 112. The Dogs obviously only been able to score 97 points. Rory Lobb turned into a roasted lobster ragu. He was absolutely lost. He got cooked. He got barbecued. I'm almost going to start calling him the Carolina Reaper. That's how chilly that he was in the back line. Morgs, your man, Liam McNeil.
Yep.
Liam Mc didn't get near it. Did not have an impact for the Dogs. He's one of these guys that usually comes in, can pop up, few tackles, kick yourself a goal, go to the bench forever. Get out of here. Sam Darcy, look, I think we agree he's going to be a superstar, Morgs. He's going to be unbelievable. But he was just beaten by a grown man with 2 ponytails today, which is a pretty tough beat. I'm not sure what's worse, his performance, or you got beaten by a man with 2 ponytails. I know my hair's long. I'm not proud about it. It's all coming off soon, but you got beaten by a man with 2 ponytails. That is something you're going to look back on in a few years and think, probably should have done a little bit better. So I think he won like 1 or 2 contests for the day. One, he pushed Alex Pearce under, but every other time Alex Pearce was all over him. So he definitely won the chocolates. Jordan Croft, though, on a positive note, as we do celebrate some people, for the Dogs, how lively did he look?
Yeah,
absolutely. He was jumping out of the gym, as they say, trying to go for everything when Norton wasn't quite there. Missed a few shots, but I thought he was extremely lively. Now, I know what the narrative was going to be if the Dockers lost, especially if you look at the stats. If you're only looking, it's just like Sarong didn't stand up again. Well, he wasn't like amazing. Brayshaw wasn't amazing. Hayden Young wasn't amazing. But it was just a really good team win. Yep. Like everyone else, like if you look at all the goal kick, I thought Murphy Reid was fantastic today. Had his finger in everything. He's just his ability to put a body on and then his teammates free, or just a little tap on, or the way that he picks it up clean, gives a handball over the back, and he always seems to find himself in the best spot. So Murphy Reid, what a pickup. I think he was pick 16. Someone in the comments will tell me what it is, but he was a little bit higher.
Yeah, pick 17. I saw it today.
Yeah, a lot of Victoria sides, I would guarantee, wish that they could have selected him. I mean, look, I think the last draft was all pretty good, but Tracy was finally hitting his form. He was actually kicking some goals. Jai missed in the first half, missed an easy one. Then he had one on his left that he didn't decide to kick, and then kicked one from the boundary 2 seconds later. So, yeah, they definitely made the most of their chances. And as you always say, Morgs, bad kicking's bad football. And today they were able to hit the scoreboard and the Dogs weren't. And unfortunately, we're wasting another year of Bont's prime where, again, he's not getting to make it to the finals. Who knows? I'm sure they would have been able to shake the tree. They're going to be sitting down tonight, again, not being able to have drinks, which is even worse.
Yeah.
And just be like, you look at a team like GWS, it's like we just beat them by 88 points. Like, we can beat every single side in the comp. And now, well, I'm pretty sure they beat Adelaide as well.
Yes. Yep.
They beat Adelaide at Marvel. So it's just like they can beat all the best sides. And it's just like, well, we don't get another chance at it. And you've got to wait all next year, get a good bill of health. Hopefully that our forward line still is potent. Hopefully we can get some more people into the back line. But it is a massive F on the year of the Bulldogs. I think we all thought that they were just going to make it.
Yeah.
And now it looks like 95% chance that they're not going to make it. What an absolute fucking disaster it is. What do you do? Because you always just think, you know what, we've got the cattle, we'll just come back next year. But there has to be like, it just feels like there's going to be no consequences. Like I feel if Freo lost, Longmuir was probably out of a job. Why Bevo, they've re-signed him. I feel they're like, nah, he still did a good job. They just didn't get over the line. You know what I mean? I feel there's not going to be any ramifications from that loss, but it's going to be a long off season for the boys. Remember how we saw Bont in the off season? He was building his cafe and he was winning all the time trials. We're like, he's all in. Like, don't waste his prime. And then it's another year now where they're going to go have another early preseason, and it's just, you'd be kicking if you're a Dogs fan. Disgraceful.
I just do think, though, I think it's a glaringly obvious fix, though, in their defense. Like that's their only, I know they probably didn't kick a winning score today, but I think, again, it came from good kicking from Freo and then not being able to rebound from defense. I think it's just so clear. It's clear and obvious what your problem is. And that's a good problem to have, I suppose. At least you can go ahead and fix it. If you don't fix it, both in your list and also your game style, then you sort of deserve criticism. But yeah, I think you're in a good spot where there's definitely clubs out there. Like, I mean, the Blues are a clear example. Like, we don't know what our fucking problem is. Well, we know what they are, but we got lots of them. Whereas I think the Dogs, that forward line's going to be the exact same next year. It's a good forward line. The midfield guts is there. It's just that defense. But yeah, if Bevo doesn't do something about it, I think then he's going to get some criticism. But I'm very interested to see what the media says this week. Obviously, starting tomorrow with Kane and Kingy, it's going to be must view. But I thought it was just very quickly and interesting. As you said, Caleb Sarong only had the 24, so I wouldn't say he had a bad game. He was playing like head-to-head on Bont, so I think that sort of took away from his immediate damage, which I appreciated. It was interesting to see Brayshaw only had the 19 touches, but then you had people like Banfield with 20, Erasmus, your man, for 20, Luke Ryan's pretty good for 20 every week.
Erasmus
Geordie
had
Clark,
20 and 1.
21, Geordie Clark, 23. So just they looked a good outfit today. And I know it's easy to just say that after a win, but they generally did. They looked a good all-rounded outfit. We're interested to see who they play next week or 2 weeks in the finals.
Well, so we had a few Freo fans comment and just be like, oh, Dobe, you were so shit canning the Freo. I'm like, well, because they weren't playing like this.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like who was to expect that they were going to play like this today? I definitely didn't. Like, they weren't playing like this at all. The Shark, the Brownlow Shark.
Yes.
He has sent in a ladder. So assuming that if Brisbane win tonight, not saying that they will, because currently recording that game hasn't started, it'll be Adelaide and Collingwood qualifying final. Geelong Brisbane qualifying final, which is awesome. Elimination final will be GWS Hawthorn, and then elimination final will be Fremantle and Gold Coast.
That's an awesome first round of
All
finals.
fantastic matchups.
Yeah. We deserve it.
Fantastic matchups. Now, I didn't actually get any odds for this game and the game before, but most of the other games, Morgs, we did have the screenshot. So any other things, Gold Rush, we'll mention that on the pod next week. But yeah, very disappointing from the Dogs, Morgs.
Do you need to? You sort of had a crack. I just want to make sure that people will be happy with the due roasting that you've given. So we had the Shark message in one of the group chats. Where is Darcy and Norton? Does Norton need any, is there any more roasting that needs to be done for the Dogs, or was it just they got outplayed?
They got outplayed. They were shit. They were front runners in most of the games where they get to play at Marvel. And they got to bully a lot of these sides. And I think we all saw coming into it, it's like, all right, they finally get the chance. They get a side that their last two games at Marvel have lost by an average of 64 points. You've got them on the ropes for a 10 count. You've got them exactly where you want them. You've got all like the perfect conditions, everything. And you go out there, kick 4 goals, 5 in the first quarter. Perfect. And then I'm pretty sure the line would have been 35 at that point or 40 plus at that point. And you can't kick a goal in the second quarter. So the whole team deserves to get absolutely fucking roasted, to be honest. And I did say, some people make footy look effortless. Like you look at the Bond. Like he just moves. Oscar Baker is the opposite. Whatever he is, whatever Bond is, Oscar Baker is the opposite. I've never seen a man where the football looks harder than him. He kicks it on his right foot and it looks like he's kicking on his third leg. Like, what's he going on with his headband? I think Nida, the Twisted Truth, said, I can't believe someone's on AFL wages and doesn't own a mirror. Like, what is happening? Oscar Baker must have saw Bailey Smith and thought, the headband looks cool. I might try it on. He's got on the handlebars as well. I've never seen a man that's trying to play life on a harder difficulty than Oscar Baker. So have a good look at yourself in the off-season, pal, and we'll see you next year.
It's a good closing roast. He actually reminds me of myself a little bit. Like I was just all heart. I had no athletic ability, just heart, and that's what he looks like. He's like running like a foot below the surface. It's just shin skidding. So I just want to quickly say as well, Artie Jones. I thought it was an interesting sub. It got a lot of talking. Obviously, they left Treloar out of it. He came on, kicked 2 goals. He actually looked pretty lively. So I reckon that gets a pass mark. The only problem was, should he be the one coming on to be looking lively? It looks like there's something wrong in the system. That's the way it turns out. But I thought that was a pass mark from Bevo. I wanted to touch on it very quickly. He looked lively. He kicked 2 goals, so we'll give him a pass on that.
I always think Artie's a myth. Every time I see him play, he doesn't get near it. So congratulations, Artie.
You're a good man, Artie.
Bye,
Moving on. This was another banger. GWS and Kilda. So GWS got it done, all thanks to Tobes. Tobes was just fucking awesome in this game. 104 to 93. 15 goals, 14 goals, 9 darts. 11 points is the margin in the end. A great game. Where'd you see this?
Yeah, this is one of the best games we've seen this year. It was awesome, man. I don't know why, but St Kilda and GWS always play it close. They always have really close games, no matter where they are on the ladder. They always usually keep it pretty tight. Toby started it like a house on fire. I think he had 6 touches and a goal in the first quarter. Got on the pocket, turned a bloke inside out, kicked one. He's probably going to kick 10 goals here. Had a bit of a quiet second quarter, but the Saints were just moving. Darcy Wilson kicked 5 goals where I saw him kick a couple, but it didn't register. And then he kicked his 5th. And I'm like, how many has this bloke kicked? And then you're like, fuck, he's actually kicked 5. He got on the end of some really good work. We knew the year he got drafted, he's an unbelievable runner. He's got such a good gas tank. And he just kept running up and down the ground. So, again, he's got to learn off Brad Hill when he's playing at that club. So, and most of the time, Ross actually has a squad. They're always usually really fit. So, I thought that they ran out the game really well. Mateus Philippou, they subbed him off. Just wanted to mention, they thinking it's a calf. So they just pulled him just in case. He has not been able to get a trick this year. So many injuries throughout the season. So I really hope it's not something that's going to keep him out long term and it's not going to hinder his preseason. Also, how many Saints supporters were holding their breath when Nas was on the ground thinking that they did his knee? Oh, my God. He was laying there. He was carrying on like he did his knee, but it was just a fucking quad hammy cramp everywhere. But mate, Toby Green, let's talk about it. So the game's in the balance. How much every time he kicked a goal, he just never got too animated, did he?
No.
Just kept the level head, went and took that hanger in the pocket.
It was awesome.
Hit the post, and then you could just like, boys, I owe us one here. And then the next effort just goes back with a fly. I think the second mark was better than the first. But
easily.
What a fucking player. I wish Jev was back to talk to him on TFG. I'd love to hear what Jev would have to ask him, but mate, what a player. What a player.
4-17 club, just awesome. Just stood up. As I've been banging on about, it's just they walk so much taller when he's in the side, and you can see why. It's just so obvious. Just an unbelievable football player. Just sneaks up on you as well. Just pops up in big moments. 4 goals, 17 is awesome. Big Gru, he was back in form, 3-9 club, which is huge. So it's going to be an interesting couple of decisions because apparently Hogan's coming back. I heard them say on the broadcast that he can't make his injury any worse. It's just about pain. So they'll jab him up for sure. And a couple of other ins to come in. I think Binga Daniels is back in. So they're an exciting one to watch. And as we posted on 100K Gambling, Darcy, I don't know if you saw Mitch Cleary's tweet, but it was sort of not a bad result. As a Saints supporter, you look at the draft and where you sit there. it probably doesn't matter. You played really well today. You've got your wins throughout the year. You've learnt sort of how to win. So I wouldn't say it was a problem for your culture in terms of losing this one. But yeah, GWS were impressive. It was a good game, and that's a good tune-up coming into September.
Is it what? I think we're going to send off. I'll just give you one. Zach Jones. I'm pretty sure it was pick 15 in probably the 1998 draft. That's how long he's been in the league for. But the old dinosaur had a chance to seal it for him today. He missed wide right, and I believe that'll be his last ever game for the Saints. So well done, Zach Jones.
Is that right?
The gold nugget. So he's out. And I do want to mention, Morgs, is Cooper Sharman sneakily the strongest one-on-one player in the comp? He shoved Sam Taylor out of the way 2 or 3 times and made him look like his redheaded stepson. He made him look like Oscar Baker. That's what he made him look like. He made him look like Oscar Baker in a one-on-one. Cooper Sharman just was clunking everything. He's a player. He's a player, Cooper Sharman.
Just great goal sense. Just a natural forward. He'd be all RDLs in the gym, wouldn't he? Just strong glutes, core, no dramas.
And bench. Heavy bench. Heavy
Darcy
bench.
Jones, your man, was big. Maxie Hall, the forklift driver, 2 and 16 was awesome. Big Rowe, my man, only kicked the 1, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hold his spot. As I said, King is going to have a big couple of calls coming up. But yeah, as I said, Darcy, ripping little tune-up for GWS. Anything further? Nothing really to roast in the Saints, is there?
No, I really think that they battled this out. This is one of their better games for the year. Even if you look at some of their wins, like if they got this scalp, it would have been awesome coming into the back end of the year. But some of their younger players look really young, like Taru. Some of the things there, he's coming over the top, made a few mistakes, but it's good. I think they're in a really good spot. And if they can keep Winhager, they get Tom DeConey in, they get Max King a full preseason, they can get someone else to help play down back with Wilkie. They seem to move the ball really well. Like, I actually like what they're doing. I really do like what they're doing. So Saints fans, I know it just feels like there's a very good buzz around the club. Keep Nas healthy. Keep Sinclair. I think he still had a really good season. More positive than negative on the Saints. I think this is what we all expected, didn't we? I don't think we really expected them to be making finals this year.
I think this is what we all sort of hoped for. I also wanted to just touch on as well, we sort of said a couple of weeks ago, I know Harley Reid was sort of in that mix after Whispers Watson had his go at breaking news, but Harley Reid obviously probably not in the picture now, but it does sort of look like no one's really leaving. I know North have offered Winhager the 5 years. You'd think he would stay, being housemates with Naz. Naz is back on. But I really do think it looks like TDK is going to come over. Naz got signed. It looks like no one's really leaving after all this stink about the salary cap.
North would offer the McArcher 5-year deal, honestly. They're offering everyone anything.
And no one will question that deal. It is honestly a ripping burger.
It's an awesome burger. So that's that game. Morgs, let's get into Saturday night. So
Please.
These are one of those games, 2 teams aren't going to play finals, but a few players filled up their stat sheet. So I just want to start. I said it last week, and I put Jobe Shanahan in for 3 goals, just on a separate bet. And you're like, why is that, Das? And I'm like, I just feel he might have one of those games where it's just like, yeah, he didn't get a lot of it, but Shanahan, he made the most of his chances. So he had 6 disposals, and he kicked 3 goals too. That is what Jobe Shanahan does. That's Jobe Shanahan football. It is absolute, just straight at the goals. Like, that's all he wants. What were your thoughts on him leading up with the ball? And do you think he's a top 2 forward in the comp right now?
I have him at 5, so he's thereabouts. 2 would be hard, but yeah, I agree. I want that on a shirt too, just Jobe Shanahan football. They might have just found one all of a sudden, Das. What sort of pick was he?
Oh, I don't know. Probably high. Probably high that we didn't realise. Jobe Shanahan just fell through the cracks.
Let us know in the comments if you know much more about Joe, but we're going to find out a lot more into next year, I tell you that much.
How's Errol Goulden after the game just saying, the game pretty much sums up how our season was. We started slow and we had to really grind it out at the end. I love that off the back of having 36-2 as well. Like, he's just like, I can say what I want. He's such a good footballer. And classic Tom Papley comes in last game of the year and just fills his stat sheet. He just fills it. So, can we go through West Coast? We have to go through them, don't we?
Sure.
They've had the worst season ever. They're the first team to lose 22 games in a season.
Wow.
They're officially the worst football side in the history of the game. West Coast Eagles, the 2025 West Coast Eagles are like a 2025 Todd Goldstein. Everyone wants to play against them. So, Tyler Dewar,
Yep.
Not doing enough. How about that? Only 7 touches. Tyler Brockman, they got him for a high-end draft pick from the Hawks. He's done absolutely diddly squat. Ruben Ginby's actually had a big season. Morgs, he's a big player.
Yep.
He's a big lump of shit, but I actually really like him. Caleb Chesto, 15 touches, didn't do much. Sandy Brock has had more goals kicked on him than Jacob Wiedering's had hot dinners this season.
Yep.
And it's just... Ryan Bazzo's back in the side. He's only 21, and he's had 21 bags kicked on him in the last 3 seasons. I just don't think they've done
Bazzo,
enough.
by the way.
What was that?
Rhett Bazzo, by the way.
Rhett Bazzo. Doesn't matter what his name is.
But I just don't think you can pinpoint one individual player. I mean, I'm all for roasting him. It's funny. But I just think surely... What is the answer at West Coast?
Get better picks. Get draft better. Recruit better. Develop better.
Would you say was Jack Graham a good pickup?
I think so.
He had 25 touches.
I think so. I think they need a few like him, Liam Baker. They just need a few because at the moment their senior players are Tom Cole and Jamie Cripps. Like Jamie Cripps is probably going to retire in the next year or 2. They just need a few more veteran bodies there. These guys have won premiership, so they know how to play. Like I feel that holds some sort of weight. Like they've played in premierships. It's like, and they're not scrubs. Like they can go in and play a spot. So I definitely think they're a good accusation as opposed to getting
Acquisition.
a Jai Simpkin and a Luke McDonald, like that haven't even played final. At least these guys have played finals, and when they talk, it actually carries a bit of weight to what they say. But the thing is, like, even you look at West Coast, so they picked in the mid-season draft Tom McCarthy. Yeah, he's been an awesome recruit for them. But on the AFL app, they don't even have an actual photo of him. They've just cropped his head on some other bloke's body. Like, look after your players, will ya? Like, they've just cropped his head onto someone else's shoulders. It's probably like Jack Darling's frame. It's not even his frame.
It's a good pickup from you. I just wanted to go back, and I'm not singling out Jack Graham here by any stretch. I just think that when you're getting these senior players in, you're not getting them for output on the field. So he's had 25 disposals, second highest disposal getter on the field for the Eagles. But that's not why you bring him into the side, is it? Like, is he a known leader that's going to help the culture? I look at someone like Luke Parker. So Luke Parker went to North. That's the perfect player because you're bringing him in. He's got the output on the field. It's more the way he goes about it and his effort, not so much the stat sheet, but just how he plays the game. And then obviously he would be a leader vocally in the club from Monday to Friday. But is that what Jack Graham is?
Yeah, I swear to God. So and I'll try and fact check this. 2 years ago, they were talking about Jack Graham as being the next captain at Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah, very big leadership. I'm not even taking the piss. I'll try and outsource a bit. They said they were saying Jack Graham potentially or Baker.
Yep.
Next captain of Richmond. Like apparently both of them are very leadership wise, very well respected. So again, it's probably hard for us to see that from the outside when they're doing really shit. But yes, apparently they are.
Yeah, and it sounds like I've just gone scorched earth on Jack Graham, which is not what I just think, when you're picking up those players, I think you got to go a little bit more character as well. But maybe I don't know Jack Graham, and maybe he's Ricky Ponting of the locker room. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I just don't know where the Eagles go to from here. I really don't.
Yeah, it's slim pickings. Their best, the best of the best odds. So Job Shanahan for 3 goals was 750. Jack Buller for 3 was 450. Tom Papley for 3 was 330. Him for 25 was $14, which is an absolute fill up. Nick Blakey for 2 was 1050. I know he snuck forward. Errol Goulden for 2 was $6. Goulden for 35 was 550. Liam Baker for 25 was $2.90, and Jack Graham for 25 was $6.50. Morgs.
I just wanted to touch on as well. I said on Thursday morning that Errol's stat sheet's stat line will look like a Tammy Hembrow headline involving a snag. 36-2, just awesome. That was $2 for 1. You said, and what'd you say Errol was for 2?
Sorry, my charger just fell out.
You're right.
Errol Goulden for 2 was $6.
Yeah, awesome. 36. Yeah, so shattered for him. Obviously had that interrupted season at the start of the year. So we move on. Swans, I saw Heaney today. He said that Kingy asked him what the off-season looks like for him. And he said 2 or 3 weeks on the piss. So love that for him. I think they need a little bit of a break. Obviously, after the grand final last year, they just need a reset. We move on. We were here, Das. Richmond versus Geelong at the G. 103-64. Cats get it done. 14-19. So bad kicking, usually bad football, but it didn't matter in this case. We wanted to see Jez kick a bag. He left a whole bag out there, Das. What'd you see? We were there. It was exactly what we expected.
Oh, was it ever? Like, we just rock up. The beers were cold. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We just finished the pizza challenge. We get there and they kicked away. They were up by like 70 points at like half time, 3/4 time. And then that was the end of the game. Richmond looked like a side that were out there counting down their minutes to their after the game beers.
Yep.
Tom Lynch kicked 3. We know someone, Mickey Bowe, he was going nuts. Every time he kicked one, they were down by 50 points, down by 40. Mickey was right up and about, getting into him. Stengel, again, they just look like a side that I know when we're so focused and talking about Jez trying to kick 100, but now he's just been like, they're such a focused side. Every time they go inside 50, they don't really care who gets it. As long as they put the score on the board. Sean Manor, our man, kicked another 2.
Yep.
What's his name? Tyson Stengel kicked a heap out there, left a heap out there. Kicked 2 goals, 4. It was $1.64, by the way, Morgs. He was Statmate's best bet of the day.
Yep.
And of course, he kicked 2. So
100%. He was in
they're
my
just a
stat, mate.
team that is firing on all cylinders at the moment.
100%. He was in my stat mate multi. We were talking about it. So Bailey Smith, 34 disposals, 16 kicks. We're talking about Brownlow medal. Is he back in the race? Because I think we sort of counted him out a little bit. $5 he's paying now. You got $2.60 Nick Dacos, $4 Jordan Dawson, and then $5 third favourite Bailey Smith.
Yeah, no, I 100% think he can win it again. His last month has actually been really good. And the others haven't been polling that many votes. Like Nick hasn't been like unbelievable. Dawson hasn't as well. Rowell and Anderson have been very up and down. And Bailey Smith just keeps getting these numbers. I know Jez kicks the goals, and milks the fish and shears the sheep and catches does whatever else. But yeah, he stands out, doesn't he, when you go watch him? Really does stand out. So I definitely think he can win it. So those guys that got back on him at about $21 a few weeks ago, you guys will be absolutely thanking yourself come season end.
And we just don't learn. You just got to jump on at those times, Das, because, it can just change so much. It's an unbelievable count because Nick Dacos wouldn't have got votes. I don't think Jordan Dawson would have got votes. We were there, but we were occupied. And then, Bailey Smith will get votes definitely. So in at $5, going to be an awesome count. Do you have any odds? Actually, I've got some odds for this game, unless you want to roast anyone.
No, I was just going to give a bit of a send-off. So we've got Camden McIntosh.
Yep.
He said he's happy to put his hand up and play for another club. Unfortunately, Camden, no one wants you.
Really?
No one wants you to play another club. He was doing every cashy. When you look up at the scoreboard after the goals, it's him with every Makita tool. Like he was the one that put his hand out. He's like, I know I'm not playing next year. I'm going to do as many cashes as I can. So the thing that tipped me over the edge, Morgs, I'm not sure how you feel about it. Up on the shoulders, he's given the double shaka. That's when you know it's time to call it. Camden, see you later. So I went through his career best for touches, Morgs, 28 once against Collingwood in 2016. What a game that was. And he kicked 3 goals once against Westco, April 29th, 2022. That's the best of Camden. Won a couple of flags. And good luck in retirement, great man. We won't miss you.
I will miss him. Being a big Camden man from early on. I like the headband. I like what he's about. And I like he's got the balls to go double shucker. So, I'll miss you, mate.
Do you have any odds in this one?
Yeah, I do. First goal for Jez, shockingly, $5. Just a wild price. It just goes to show how often he must kick it. For disposals, Banks, my man, he was $10 for 30. Prestia was $3.90 for 25. Couple of goal scorers again. Prestia for 2. $21. The best market in sports is 2 goals. Big Brown, anytime, $5. Lynch for 3 was $3.40, which is short. And then my man Seth Campbell for 2 was $3.90. So some good, honest prices there. Exactly as we said, it was exactly what we expected that to be. Another little tune-up for the Cats. Tigers can go away. If you're a Tiger supporter, you're not shattered by any stretch, and you're looking forward to next year.
100%. They've got the pieces there. Gibkiss got subbed off. He was pretty shattered. His first game, I think, in 524 days, they said. So he was a bit shattered not to run out at the end of the game. But there is a bit of feeling about the Tigers. Like, they were second last, third last on the ladder, and their fans still show up. So it's still be such a good place to come play footy. You get to play at the G every week, which is awesome. So, I feel their year is a massive tick. I don't think anyone thought that they were going to play this good. So hard to roast them when they've come out. They've won some really good games. So massive tick to the Tigers this year. And can't wait to watch them again next year.
Definitely. And you can just feel, can't you? Even there was a lot of Tigers supporters there yesterday, and none of them, it almost felt like when we went down in Geelong when they beat Essendon, the mood there was flatter yesterday than the Tigers supporters yesterday, because they can just see all the young kids. They can see what they're building. I'm not sure if Uze's going to be the one to take them to, the next finals push, but it's definitely exciting for Tigers fans. And quite honestly, I've said this before, I think I'd rather be a Tiger than a Blue right now, Das.
Yeah, wow. Wow, no, I'd still rather be a Blue. Go the Baggers.
No, 100%, of course. We're moving on. We were there in the flesh. Our flesh was on fire, but we were there. Adelaide get it done, 113 to 100. So it's a lot closer. We left with about 5 minutes to go because we're trying to scoot over to the Jez show. But 17-11, the Crows, 15-10. So North really came back hard. It was actually a pretty good effort from North. They definitely had a crack in this game, Das.
Yeah, no, they did. The big man Trembath, the big bath, the big spa, the big jacuzzi. He came out, I think he's kicked 3 in his first 3 AFL games. He's making it look easy. He's going out there clunging, especially with Nick Larkey not there. He was just able to impress for 3 games in a row, so I love that. Now, we laddered Ben Keys. He kicked 3 goals too.
Yep.
So we said he's such a hard matchup. So obviously Rankin's not there, but usually when he's there, you got a defender for him. You got one for Tex, one for Thilthorpe, one for Darcy Fogarty, anyone else that rolls through there. And then Ben Keys sort of gets like the 5th or 6th defender.
Yep.
And he's going to have a good game when he plays on a defender that doesn't actually like to defend. So against the Blues, he always dominates because Adam Sard's not going to chase him back towards goal.
Of course not.
Have you guys who lined up on him yesterday? Colby McKercher.
Yep.
And I stood there and I said, he's going to kick a few goals here. Colby McKercher just wants to run forward and kick it on his left foot. There is no way that he wants to double back and be in a running race with Ben Keys. So Ben Keys got on the end of a few. Now, I just want to say, Morgs, we don't usually come on here like to shit can players, do we? Like we try not to. Like I've never played a game of league footy.
Yep.
And in the end, I really shouldn't be able to comment on players' performances. Luckily enough, it's our own show and we're allowed to do anything that we like. So Hugh Bond was given a chance the last 4 weeks in a side that has just won the minor premiership on top of the ladder to give himself a chance to play AFL finals. What an opportunity he had, Morgs. So yesterday, 91% game time, 3 disposals, 3 turnovers, 4 kicks against. 4 frees against, Morgs. What are you doing? He didn't have a touch in the third quarter. Pretty sure we saw him pouring beers at the Medallion Club. So we know that James Bond is 007. Hugh Bond is 003. 0 score involvements, 0 contested possessions, 3 turnovers. Hugh Bond has just worked himself out of a finals position. What was he doing out there?
No. Come on, no.
Come on, Hugh.
You might have friends listening to this.
Come on, Hugh.
It's like this, he's already dead. Old Hugh. Hey, shout out to Hugh. We've all been there, Das. We've all been there. I kept you to no touches for like 2 hours of training. So
that was awesome. Yeah, we did this training and it's like bibs and non-bibs. And I was on Morgs and he's running hard and he got a few kicks. He's like, all right. And then we swap and it's our turn to get the ball. And he wore me like a fucking blanket. I was working my ass off. Not one person put a check on for me. I was running as hard as I could, and I did not get a sniff.
I wanted to quickly touch on Das. So North, what's their problem in the offseason to fix? So I'm looking at the stat sheet. Again, you don't just want to be box score bandits, but I'm going to be for a second. Jai Simpkin, 33, Sheasel, 32, LDU, 31, Luke Parker, 27, Jerry, 25. Top 5 disposal getters on the ground all came from North. And whilst the score was probably closer than that reflected, I reckon, from actually viewing the game, how do you have that sort of that dominance in terms of disposals, but you're not putting because even they kicked pretty well. I say bad kicking's bad football, but they kicked 15-10. So
I
what are you
think
missing?
If you look at the other games this year, they have not been as dominant in the midfield as this. They absolutely smacked the Crows from clearance. It was actually a real concern now that Rankin's gone as well, because I know they like to play him up in the middle. They got their pants pulled down in the middle yesterday. And I think Cherry's been pretty consistent as a ruckman for the last 2-3 seasons, but so much inconsistency with Sheasel. Wardlaw can't get his body right. You look at a lot of times with... and LDU, like those 3 in the middle have not been consistent enough at all. And then so much of the time, if there is a turnover in transition, they get absolutely pieced up back behind the ball. It's Toby Pink or nothing. Like Griffin Logue isn't doing much. Luke McDonald isn't doing much. Aiden Core isn't doing much. So they definitely need help from the midfield to actually win those clearances, to have a crack. Like they did really well, as I said, in this game against Melbourne at the start of the year. They did really well. But apart from that, they're way too inconsistent. So having the midfielders being able to step up every week, more so like how Brisbane guys do, how Collingwood do, even if they're like around the edges, they're not great. In the midfield, they're always pretty consistent. So they need to do that and then obviously shore up their back line a lot more.
Should be said, no Larky, no Bull yesterday. They would have came in handy. So they did have a crack, the boys, but yeah, just wasn't there. Very quickly, wanted to touch on our man Finn O'Sullivan. He looks to be a player.
He looks like he's gained 10 kilos from round one, doesn't he?
I couldn't agree more.
He's huge, big
Yep.
Finn O'Sullivan. So usually gets me and Jeff thinks there's never been a rookie being tackled holding the ball more than him. He was great yesterday. Thought he had a really good crack. And Paul Curtis, what a player.
Yep.
Like, it's actually unbelievable that he didn't get picked in the all-team under 22. Surely they must have selected that like before he got suspended or something, or
For
after
sure.
he got suspended. Because another 3 goals yesterday, a one-on-one beast. He's a machine. Yeah, you'd love to have him in your side. Also, Peatling for 3 snags. Morgs, $26. So I've got some odds here.
Yeah,
Peatling
please.
for 3 was at $26. Ben Keys for 3 was at $3.60. Trent Barth for 3 was at $8. And Paul Curtis for 3 was $2.60. Jai Simpkin had 33 on the day as well. So for 30, he was $11. So, yeah, the pizza was hot. The company was great. The beers and the bundies were cold. And the ice cream was so refreshing. But that's it for us for Marvel for the season. We don't have to go back to the igloo. It was so cold.
It was freezing. We didn't really chat about this, but I sort of forgot to mention it. I was trying to sort of have a look at the game from what we saw as well, is where they were missing Rankin. So I find it really interesting. Like, where are they going to miss Rankin in these spots? And obviously, I think it's just one of those ones. It's hard to actually pinpoint it because he's that sort of player. He could just have 16 disposals but kick 3 huge goals. So it's not really a system thing for them. Obviously, who was the player they brought in yesterday? Oh, Sid Draper. He probably didn't have the showing out that we were hoping he would have. Obviously, Keys will be a lot more dangerous. He's going to be huge in their finals campaign. But yeah, it sort of just solidified for me that Rankin's not so much, it doesn't add to this, or it doesn't subtract from the system with him not being there. It's just purely that game-winning ability that they're not going to have.
Yeah. And they got Rochelle to come back in, who was actually
Yep.
pretty good the second half of this year as well. But again, Sid Draper, they gave him a chance. 5 touches, tactical sub. Oh, it's tough. It's a tough game to come in as a small forward and trying to impress when it's not running your way. So hopefully, yeah, I really hope he gets another few cracks over the next few years. But again, he's in a really good system, so hopefully he's learning from the best and comes through. Because coming out of the draft, he looked like the player. He looked like the one that thought the Blues are going to draft. So yeah.
No, I think they'll be right. Yeah, going to be so interesting. And I think, have the week off. It was a good little tune-up for them. They got tested enough that it was good to get the run in the legs, have 2 weeks off, and they'll come out firing, the Crows. All right, Dust, we go to Friday night. 2 average-ish games. Port shocked the world. Get it done. 71-67. 10 goals, 11 plays, 9 goals, 13. Bad kicking all around, to be honest. Kenny Hinkley's final game. Trav Boak's final game. Strings are out. Dust, my Twitter was going nuts. So I'd gone to bed in this game. It sort of looked done, but my Twitter just went nuts. So I followed some pages because they put some good clips up. They put some tweets up, and they were talking about the umpires. And I usually hate blaming the umpires for losses because the Suns kicked 9 goals, 13, so you could blame that. However, apparently it was bad. What did you see in this game?
Some was bad, but some wasn't. And I feel like when you look at so the free kick count for holding the ball was 12 to Port Adelaide, 1 to Gold Coast. And for some reason, when people see free kicks that are the same, they think that it's a well-officiated game. Go back and watch it. Port were hunting the entire game. They were 2 3-man tackles. They got pretty much all of those holding the ball. You look at the Suns, they could not lay a tackle. They did not look like that they were going to lay a tackle. And it's pretty concerning, to be honest. Like, you have to give a rocket to the Suns. In their club's history, they've never played finals. They've never played a finals game or had a finals campaign. It's a win and in. They lose to 35 points at home against the Giants. Same thing this week. It's a win and in. And they lose by 6 points to Port Adelaide. If they clinch, they're in the playoffs. They're in the finals. Then they can rest some players against the Bombers. Now they've got to wheel them back out there on Wednesday when I'm sure they'd love to be load managing a few players. And now they've got to go out and actually try and win another game. So, yeah, they just look so mentally not prepared. Like, this had to be a finals game, and this felt like a finals game, and they weren't up to it. This is 2 weeks in a row where the Suns have looked so flat. We joked about it saying no Bears, no Gold Coast, and I know that he's not the only person, but we were talking about in the middle. We're like, all right, you got Rosie and Butters, and then you got Real and Anderson. How are they going to go? Well, Butters is the type of bloke that if I'm ever in the trenches, I want him there next to me. It's Ken's last game, and he played like it. Rosie was awesome as well, 34-1. But you look at Zach Butters, he had 35 disposals, 14 contested, 8 intercept possessions, 8 score involvements, 8 tackles, and 6 frees 4, which is a really big one. So he had a lot of holding the balls. He got a 50-meter penalty given to him. He got in Will Power's face. Will Power was shaking him, sort of threw his head back, And I know a lot of the commentators were saying that should be a reversal, but he's just laughing in Will Power's face. He's like, "You're an idiot. Like I got you to react. I got you to do what I wanted." But some of his plays going back with the flight, just laying these massive tackles, and he just goes at the footy a million miles an hour, and you show that it looked like a final. And yeah, Gold Coast dead set just didn't look up to it, and now they've got to go out against the Bombers, as we did say. But you look at them head to head. So we've been lauding Rowell and Anderson, how good they've been doing. So the potential All-Australian captain only had 13 touches to three-quarter time. That is not fucking good enough. Like, you're trying to lead them to victory. Rowell had finished with 21 as well. So they both had 20 and 21. Again, only the 6 to 8 touches in the last quarter. It's not good enough. And we look at previous games. Are they going to put a lot of work into Rowell and Anderson? Butters and Rosie pretty much just went head to head. They shut him down, but then they burnt him the other way. So it actually was pretty embarrassing by the Suns, the fact that they couldn't get it done. They had that large surge late where they had an opportunity, but it should never have gotten to that. It should never have gotten to that point in that game. They should have shut the door, silenced the crowd. The crowd was in it, and it honestly felt like a finals win. He had Darcy Byrne-Jones after the game saying it was probably one of the best games he's ever played in. Like, it felt like that had emotion. You've got a player that's pretty much first in every single statistic category at your club in Travis Boak. And then you've got Ken Inkley, who's pretty much drafted and handpicked most of these players. You knew they were going to go out there. So what felt more, Ken's last game, or for you as a club to actually finally play finals? And Port showed them who was the boss, and it's actually pretty embarrassing, as I must say, for the Suns. So they're going to have to have a big win. I think they had a chance to finish top 4. Now it looks like they're going to have to be on the road every single finals game, which is, it just shows like you have to be in it for all 24 rounds to get the most out of it. It looks like they've really let one slip.
Just so shattering. We spoke to Bailey about it as well. I can't remember if it was on or off camera, but just talking about how dangerous the Suns could have been with the double chance. Yes. Like, just that young team, and it just obviously it hasn't fallen that way, and probably due to their own doing, to be honest. But yeah, just such an opportunity just to play with nothing to lose. Double chance, so dangerous with your tails up, so disappointing. Yeah, Zach, as you said, Zach Butters with 35, Rosie with 34. So 2 blokes going out on the sword for obviously their coach and their ex-captain. Yeah, so disappointing. And one to watch, I reckon, is does it have anything to do with the venue? We spoke to Bailey, again, not sure if it was on or off, but talking about getting that win was important at Adelaide Oval because they had that embarrassing showing against the Crows at Adelaide Oval. Then they go there again and they lose. So if they do, I don't know how it's all going to shake out, but if they do have to play a final there, and even going into next year, it's going to be hanging over their head about how struggling at that ground, which is odd because it's kind of a similar setup to People's First. Like, it's got one open, like, the actual dimensions and the way it feels, it would be similar to People's First. It's hard to put your finger on, different to a Marvel, which is a lot more obvious.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we look at it, and Adelaide looks like the best oval to play on. I think it just shows that when a team's on, the crowd gets going, like how much influence it has, and it just shows the non-maturity of that of the side. Like, you look at the Giants almost love the silence. Like, when they lost the prelim to Collingwood by a point, they'd kick those few goals late, and they just thrived. Like, they loved the silence. Why? It almost seemed like the noise at the other end was too much for the Suns. So another learning curve. Again, hopefully you want to try and shake these out before finals. But this is a monster game this week now. If they lose this and miss out on finals, it almost sets you back another 18 months. If you win and then can win a final, it puts you ahead an extra year. Like, the next 3 to 4 weeks for the Suns is going to be massive. Like, imagine if they win 1 or 2 finals, it's like, awesome, we have belief in this group. Even Hawthorn, if they didn't make the finals this year, it's like, well, they still had a finals win with a very young group last season. So it just carries you forward. But yeah, that awesome win by Port Adelaide. And I do love how Butters said, the headline will definitely be Port Adelaide.
Yeah, that was cool.
But it's only for next year. Yeah. Until he's out. He's like, I'll definitely be coming back. We'll see how I play. And then it sounds like he'll probably be on the move unless they offer him the Godfather deal, which it sounds like they actually have.
Yeah, then they probably will. But, I mean, I also think they'd be silly not to listen to offers on the flip side of that. I mean, yeah, he's saying he's staying, but, yeah, I think you'd have to listen. I just want to give a very quick shout-out to our man, George Michiadis. He goes to 58 goals. Nice. So that's a pretty good season for Port. He kicked 4 goals on the night. He'd be only 4 away from second, essentially, if you're ruling out Jez, who's on 83. But I thought that deserved a little bit of a shout-out. Our man John Noble, Global, had 27 disposals. Fiorini, 20. As you said, Rao, 21, and Anderson only 21. So, yeah, disappointing there. Did you have any odds for the game?
Yeah,
No, we didn't. Oh, you did?
No, I did. Yes, so Georgiades for 4 was $8. Ben King for 3 was only $1.71. Again, he's been short all year. Ben Long for 3 was $2.70. Butters for 35 was $4. Rosie for 30 was $3.50. And Fiorini finished at 27. So for 25, he was $2.50.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Actually not a bad price on him, but massive game for the Suns. Now it's a do or die. Win and in. Win and in. I'm winning their last 3 games, and they've lost their last 2, so it's pretty embarrassing.
I don't think we should overreact. I think they're winning that game. Essendon are playing a very depleted side. They're just going to win that game. Let's not overreact to it, and let's review it next week. But yeah, God, it's disappointing. And it's just, it makes you a bit nervous for finals. Like, we obviously had our tails up, obviously speaking to Bailey once a week, and excited about what the Suns could do. But yeah, you just see them in this environment, to shit the bed like they have. It makes you nervous for a big game on the G. It's just, are they a year away from being a year away is what scares me.
I'm really interested to see what the selection is coming now, and if they win them first final. Does Jed Walter push his way back in? Bailey, obviously, he'll come back in when he's right, but is there anything else that they're moving? Is there anyone that they're not too happy with how they're going? And I'm sure Dimmer will be happy to throw up some magnets if he has to, because he knows what it takes to win, and if you're not on board, you can fuck off and you can wait till next year.
Very quickly, what were your thoughts on him blaming the umpires in the press conference?
So funny. Apparently, the whole press conference, he was great. And then the last 2 minutes, he's like, thought the umpires played it. You can imagine him. It's like he gets white line fever at the presses, and he must leave. And he's just like, fuck. Like, you look at Chris Scott's so composed. He's just like, everything he says is just like brilliant. It's like a full written script. And Dimmer just like, yeah, we fucking hate Marvel. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I think the umpires played into the narrative a bit. He must just leave being like, fuck.
100%. It's good. It's good. It's theatre. Same with Roscoe. Like, he's been very funny this year. I mean, you could dislike Dimmer Hardwick for sure, but I thought it was hilarious. Move on, Das. Wednesday night that game will be. I'm not sure when we'll touch on that. When we'll roast, when we'll preview, I'm not even sure what's going on. But the old Wednesday night's really throwing us for 6. But moving on, this Friday night game, Collingwood, Melbourne. Now, this was a different sort of game, Das. Pies won by 6 in the end, which is a game they just had to win. 11-16, Das. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Bad kicking is bad football. Kicked their way out of it almost. 76-11-10 with the Ds. Pies got it done by 6. Are we roasting? Are we celebrating? Where you see it?
Oh, Pies win, Australia lose, unfortunately. Okay. But it was looking like Gold Coast are going to win and play finals. And then Collingwood are potentially going to lose to Melbourne. They're going to get rolled. And then it's just they're going to be like almost like 7th or 8th. And it's just going to be, all right, this is going to be fun. And then we see Collingwood win. You see Melbourne shit the bed in the last quarter. Stephen May gets led to the footy. Oh, they just didn't man up at all. They had everything going for them. Oh, no one could kick a goal. Petrarca got on the end of some good looks. Their midfielders running forward, and it's just like, I don't know if it's Moses or Joseph, I'm so sorry, but the seas parted, and then Collingwood just kept going down the middle. Old corridor Collingwood. They just went straight down the guts, and they're like, well, we have to win it. Yep. And then they kicked 4 goals to 1 in the last quarter. So they were pretty much up by 2 scores. Jai Cully, shout out, one of the worst Scorpions I've seen this season. Went up to go get the ball, make a sport, and just landed on his face. And he just went off with a bad lower back. Like, it looked bad. So, Jai Cully, shout out. But let's roast the Ds. So, the Ds need to get so much more out of their forward line. I think we give a big pass to Cozzy. So, he kicked 40 goals, 29 on the season.
Yep.
Almost 70 shots of goals. That's a great season. Bailey Fritsch, he's kicked 50 a few times in his career. Only 36 goals, 27. Jake Melcham is your 3rd best goal kicker. 33 goals, 22. We just need more out of everyone. Van Rooyen, they're going to pay him. They think he's going to be the next big forward. Morgs only kicked 16 goals for the season. Petrarca's kicked 18 goals, 24. Tell you what, if his footy career gets cut short and his cooking show doesn't work out, he'd be a great butcher because he butchers the pill so much. So 18 goals, 24, not good enough. Max Gawn, awesome player, probably All-Australian captain. 6 goals, 15. Not good enough. And then you got Viney, Oliver, and then Rivers have only kicked 4 goals each for the season. So there's obviously some big woes coming up forward. They've always been so secure down back. We know contest and defense, everything just like get the footy back, and then we go again. So leave a May back behind the ball. You got Gawn if you have to, and then you got your runners from there. Christian Salem, no one will know who he is in 10 years' time. And then you get everyone running through, but they just can't kick a score. They cannot kick a score.
Do you think it has it?
You need a big forward. You need a Georgiades kick you 58. You need a big guy up forward. I know Darcy and Norton have both pretty much kicked 50 each for the season. Jeremy Cameron, I know the Blues have got 2, but you can't have Cozzy being your leading goal kicker with 40 for the season. It's just not going to happen. Logan Morris is almost up to 50.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
do you think it's got something to do with how they move the footy, though? Like, Petrarca's obviously had a famously poor kicking season. Clary's not known for his ball use. Viney, the same. You've got, Salem on the half-back line, which I know they try and get him the footy in his hands. But, I just reckon their ball use going inside 50 as well. Like, they don't have a lot of easy set shots. Like, even Fritsch, all he hears is around the corner, in the pockets. Do you know what I mean? I think it might have something to do with the style of footy they play mixed with who's actually kicking the ball inside 50.
For sure. And I definitely think like they had a makeshift forward. So where they put Harrison Petty down there. Yep. I know he's not meant to be your full-time forward, but then they were getting goals out of Tom McDonald previous. They had Ben Brown for a few years that they were getting goals out. And then like even in the 2021 grand final, Fritsch kicked 6. So I think they assumed that he was going to come on and be your big goal kicker. And then you got Van Ruin there. And then you've got Matt Jefferson that you drafted 2 to 3 years ago that still is struggling to get a game. So they've got all these bigs, but there's none that are actually jumping out at you and being like, I can kick you some goals. Like, you look at the Giants. So they've got Hogan, Riccardi, Cadman, Stringer is a third option. They've got all these guys that can come through and kick goals. And unfortunately, Melbourne just don't have that class up forward. So hopefully someone can come through, take it by the scruff of the neck, because there's a job there. Or if you're a key forward in a game, great opportunity to put your hand up, being like, I know Todd Marshall signed long at Port Adelaide and Georgiades there as well. But if you had like a third option or something, they'll be like, fuck it. There's a spot there at Melbourne for someone to grab. So they have to. But credit to Collingwood. They just fucking keep winning. And
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on? I heard someone say on the broadcast that it was a good sort of. It was a good showing for the next coach. Like, they showed a lot of heart, and I think they've done sort of a low-key job on giving some young guys some games this year, which I don't think's been talked about that much. But you look at the list, like someone like Nathan Buckley, does he look at this and think, I can turn this around?
100%. I think you've got a lot of pieces there, and I feel if a new coach, so you got an old coach go that's been there for 8-9 years, expect some players to leave. They'll be like, I was here for them. I want something new. That's fine. If Bucks comes in, who wants to stay? If a few of you want to go, that's fine. This is my team now. We're going to do it differently. I still think they've drafted pretty well the last few years. Harvey Langford, literally build around him.
Yep.
Literally build around him. He's going to be an absolute jet. Even Bailey, when we were talking about with him the other day, we were talking about the Rising Stars. He's like, I love him. He's going to be a machine. So they've got pieces there. And, like, who wouldn't want to come play in Melbourne? Like, it's anywhere, any one of these, like, semi-big sides. And, like, you get to play at the G every week. I definitely think there's something there. Like they're not going to be, like, how much longer do you reckon you'd take them to get back in the 8?
Well, I just think, I just wonder about that. Who, as you said, who wouldn't want to come play for Melbourne? But the whole Casey thing is definitely a thing. The culture of the last 2 years has been average. I know they put Band-Aids on it, but then obviously Goody goes. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know whether it is that attractive to come play. Like, even if they do get this Caulfield thing up and running, that's not going to be to another 4 years. So, I don't know. Obviously you got to back yourself, but I just wonder if Bucks looks at this and, I mean, his other option is Tassie, which is another. He's not going to win a premiership there for 7 or 8 years. So, I don't know. I find it interesting. I'd love to know what people think. What's Melbourne's solution in the off-season? But that's one for another day, Das, I would have thought.
Well, the fact they're not that far, I think they have to get rid of one, Lever or May. They're not going to be able to keep both. They're such an interesting team because, as we said in the season preview, they're either, like, if everyone plays to their best, they're going to be a top 8 side. If not, they're definitely going to be under. How much more are you going to get out of Viney? How much are you going to get out of Petrarca? Obviously, even the biggest one that people forget is Brayshaw.
Yep.
He was the glue. He was the fix-it guy. Put him anywhere. And you just don't really get another one of those back in the system. Like, he was unbelievable. And you forget, as soon as he went down, well, they were probably going to win that final.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You forget the loss of him. So, Fritsch kicked 3 on the night, 450. Schultz kicked 2 goals, 3 more. Could have had a day out.
Oh, yeah.
So for 2 was 330. Oliver had 30. How's this? This was the Statmate Leg of the Week. So for 30 disposals at $2.65, Clary averages a whopping 34.8 disposals in his last 5 games against the Pies. So we had 30. There you go,
Incredible.
265.
Love it.
And this just comes up on the app, and it's free.
It's awesome.
Unbelievable. So the Pies win. Good on them. Very jealous. And you just feel that it's the pressure off Craig McRae just slightly, finally getting a win.
For sure. We move on. It's going to be interesting. Move on Thursday night. This just looked like every other training session that would have happened on this Thursday night. If you weren't watching the footy and you were at training, it would have looked very similar. There was no. I heard him say at halftime that there was the lowest tackle count at halftime. I'm not sure if it was all year or since we walked on the moon. I don't know. 56-90 was the final score. 13 goals, 12 from the Blues. 8 goals, 8 from the Bombers. Just not going to win a game of footy with 16 scoring shots. Darts. This was an average game of footy.
It was. Blues end up getting a win by 34 points. We've been awesome the last couple of weeks, Morgs, getting a couple of wins, but let's start by roasting both clubs. Maybe the AFL did get the scheduling right. Maybe they're like, these once two great clubs will finish off a year, we'll get Carlton, Essendon, potentially finals implications. Instead, we're rolling out a microwave Todd Goldstein, the reverse mouse, Jaden Nugent, Jade Gresham, Lewis Young on prime time. Maybe it's the club's fault for just not being good enough.
Yeah.
Understand the occasion, understand the moment. Thursday night, last one for the season that actually means something. And we serve dog shit. Both clubs have been absolutely horrendous. So, as I said, it's the end of the season. Most sides, apart from the Bombers, have the extra game next week. But let's still swing the axe a little bit here, Morgs. Let's finish it off. Jai Menzies, 46 games for the club, 33 goals. Thank you for your service. Pack your bag, son. We'll never see you again. Next one, let's have a go through. Lewis Young, 80 games, Morgs, across from the Western Bulldogs and the Blues. 202 centimetres he is, Morgs. Might get a job as a Christmas tree. He's pretty good at standing there and doing fuck all, so they may as well cover him in some tinsel, some lights, some decorations. Pack your bag, son. All the best, Lewis Young. See you later. We got Dylan Shield, Morgs. Built like a V8, drives like a Prius. 233 games, 2017 All-Australian, in first team All Potential. He had potential coming out. He was the size of he is now in under 13. So he's been told he won't be offered another contract, Morgs. 32 years of age. He was doing his best to try and get another contract. But in typical Dylan Shield fashion, so he had 24 touches halfway through the third, and then he runs into an open goal and just shanks it into M26. He should have just run off the ground then. Pack your bag, son. All the best, Dill. We'll see you in another life. But as I said, there's 3 guys that shouldn't be playing league footy anymore. Jai Menzies gets a crack every single week when he probably shouldn't be. The fact that guys like him are running around, again, this isn't personal. I haven't played league football. This is just what I'm saying. The fact that he is out there playing almost every game, and you've got guys like Sean Manor just playing in the Magoos, or Dom Brew that has never gotten an opportunity on an AFL list.
Yep.
Surely they can capitalise a little bit more rather than just rolling out the same people over and over. But someone I do want to touch on in a positive way. No one's had a better month than Frankie Evans. No one. His last 4 weeks, Morgs, 3 goals, 19 touches, 12 score involvements. 2 goals, 15 touches, 8 score involvements. 4 goals, 16 touches, 7 score involvements. 2 goals, 2 touches, 12 touches, 4 score involvements against the Dockers. He's averaging over the last month 2.75 goals a game, 15.5 touches, and 7.75 score involvements a game. He's a freak, old Francois.
He's turned into Francis Matera.
So we always said, I think he had nudes of Vossi.
Yeah.
So I think it was actually the other way. I think Vossi got nudes of Francis and Vossi's got ripped up. So then Francois is out there just playing for his contract. He's like, hey, I'm going to send him out. So I think it went the other way. So, hey, this is what we need. We need someone that's actually just going to have a crack, put on the pressure, and kick the goals. So well done, Francois.
That makes a lot of sense, your theory too. It really checks out.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, there's nothing more to add there. Thank God that these seasons are finished. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be an interesting off-season, that's for sure. It's going to be a really interesting off-season. Yeah, I mean, Bombers stiff, injury list, hard to really judge their list, but I just think it would be the most Bombers thing ever to win on Wednesday night. Like a Wednesday night win for the Dons, shock the world with this list, would be all time.
Can you imagine if they do?
Oh,
Can you actually imagine?
I actually can't.
if they win, well, they played Brisbane pretty close earlier in the year, but they're resting too many players.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. Let's not go there. I don't think we got any odds here. Well, this will be a gold rush sort of setup on Tuesday.
I got a couple.
You're a good egg.
Guelphy for 3 goals was $13. Frankie Evans for 3 was $5.75. Flynn Young for 2. Not sure if he'll get a spot on our list. Another one of the Werribee boys. $4.50. Isaac Kako for 2 was $4.40. And George Hewitt for 25 was $5 for 35.
That's nice. Really nice. That puts a bow on it, does.
I think it
Round
does.
24. That is it. So not sure. Will be no roast next week. No footy to roast. There's no point doing a 10-minute job for Gold Coast, Essendon, or the Legends game. We will be there at the Legends game, unprecedented access. So we'll be in the rooms. We'll get some good content from there. But no roast next week. And then Jev will be back. Jev will be back for the next roast, which will be nice because he's coming in hot and heavy.
Oh,
he has
got
that many.
So many takes.
It's going to be a 3-hour roast, but I actually think people won't mind. It'll just be sort of a 2-parter. But that's what a month from me. Thanks for having me, Das. Not a lot of hot takes from me. Just trying to play Chris Paul to your Blake Griffin, just dunking on people. But thanks for having me. That is the 100K roast. I need to go to the toilet. I've still got some chilies reverberating around my guts. Thanks for being here, Das.
Morgs.
I'll see you on the other side. Stay tuned Tuesday or Thursday morning, I should say. Bit of a futures show. We're going to have a look at how to make some cash regardless coming into September. We're going to look at Norm Smith, going to look at the Brownlow finals. We're going to look at all. A bit of a final show, a bit of a different show. We'll mix it up if the last month hasn't been a big enough mix-up. I don't know what has.
Quick look at the EPL, the Live Golf.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to touch on, but I'll save all that. I'll save all that for the show. Thanks for having me, Das. No second half. It's second half coming up next.
Second half coming up next.
What are you prepared to lose today? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.